Right, horse. Okay, your left hand out. Sorry, we're just waiting for Rue Sensei to join. Okay. Okay, slowly punch your joggers again. And knee. Sam. Shi. Go. Look. Shich. Hatch. Come. Jo. Okay, swing pa. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Look. Shich. Hatch. Come. Jo. Relax. Good. Okay, hey scratch, feet together, knees bent. And slowly by get itch. And knee. Sam. Sheep. Go. Look. Shich. Hatch. Come. Jaw. Okay, swing pie, right? Itch. Knee. San. Sheep. Go. Look. Shich. Hatch. Go. Jaw. Hi. Relax. Okay, good. Everybody warm, ready? Ready for action? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, excellent. Everybody can hear me as well. Okay, guys, so some of you got doggies on, which is great. Some of you don't have doggies on, so it's difficult for me to see what grade you are. I'm looking and thinking most people are kind of black and brown belt level. So we're going to go through a few ideas, the first part of the class. Bassai Sensei wants me to kind of go over a few principles about what we look at within the HDKI syllabus. The second half of the class, but the first half, just going through a few ideas about kind of good movement and how to do karate. I'm going to use Bassai Dai as a vehicle. If you know Bassai Dai, great. If you don't know Bassai Dai, don't panic. It's not really important. But we'll just take a few ideas, yeah? So if you don't know the kata, don't worry about it. We'll just be taking elements of it. But those who do know the kata will be able to put those elements into the kata. And those who don't know the kata, they'll be able to use the elements in other things that you do know. So let's start. So from beginning, guys. So just the first movement of Bassai Dai. So from here, we're just driving forward. Right leg stepping, left leg driving. This driving in and blocking, yeah? So just in your own time, a couple of times. Right leg first, then left leg. This driving and blocking. Okay, give it a go, guys. A couple of times. Let me see what you're doing. Okay, good. Okay, so look, I mean, I know that there's different organizations, possibly even different styles, but that's not really important. What is it? So I'm not going to really talk about the kind of superficial elements of like, you know, your fingertips should be on your wrist, and if you don't do it there, then it's wrong. No, I'm not going to talk about that sort of stuff because it's not really important. What I'm going to talk about is your ability to drive. I want you to kind of drive forward. So from here, I want you to initially think about your right leg, how you're using your right leg. Most people focus on the left leg a little bit. Start with your right leg to get that right leg in front of you as quick as possible as if you're driving that in. Without this straightening, what you want to do is drive, bend, and once that leg is in front of you and therefore your body weight is starting to go forward, then you're using the left leg to kind of drive in. So I want you to try to get that fast twitch. Right leg, then left leg, push, and driving in. Don't go so much for distance, go for speed. I want you to kind of have like that kind of fast twitch movement. Okay, give that a go a couple of times, guys. Try. Let me see what you're doing. Guys, you can pair up and work with each other, right? Okay, yeah, mate, good. One other point, so, well, two points actually. Firstly, try as much as possible to keep that back straight, yeah? One of the fundamental principles of Shotokan Karate is Seichusen, correct center line, or that formal middle line. So just try to make sure that you're not, whatever's happening with your lower body, it's not affecting your upper body. You're kind of dynamically, proactively keeping that core engaged. So when you do drive forward, you just take your whole body with it. That's one point. Second point is I want you to think about not only pushing, but also squeezing afterwards. So you're pushing with this front leg, you're driving with that back leg, but then instantly using your adductor muscles to pull in. Quite a lot of you are kind of 1, 2, and that back leg's kind of playing second fiddle. You want that back leg to slam into the front as quick as possible. Understand? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Okay, try. 1 more minute. Give it a go. Okay, yummy. So guys, let me see. So Bjorn from Sweden, you're doing it a little bit. Who else was doing it? There was Andrea Carbon, you were doing it. Barry Keane from ISKF Seattle, good Irish name, Barry, well done. You're kind of all doing it a little bit, which is almost giving yourself permission to start slowly as long as you finish quickly. Then that's not really what you want to do. Don't give yourself permission to start slowly. The whole idea is starting with quick, and then afterwards you're going to finish quickly, yeah. But don't think that if you finished quickly, all's well. It's not the case at all. So there's an awful lot of you who are kind of 1, 2, and if because it finishes well, you think, oh, that's not bad. No, that initial bomb and you go. Then obviously over Zoom. Like if we were in the dojo, I'd be counting and I could be seeing that people are going on the count or slightly after the count. We can't really do that via Zoom, so you have to kind of have a bit of self-discipline with this. But just try as quickly as possible to initiate your movement. So that's a quick drop, that's a quick ready, that's a quick drive, without that kind of slow building up. Understand? Yeah. Okay, guys. I didn't say, but if anybody's got any questions, feel free. Just unmute yourself, ask, then mute yourself afterwards, and I'll do my best to answer. But yeah, 1 more minute, guys, and then we're going to move on. Give it a go. Yeah, Stephen Chen from BU. Yeah, nice. That's nice effort. Lorica, good. Yeah, that's it. Then Hanamae, then good effort, but make sure you're landing into a stable stance afterwards. Yeah, driving forward is good, but if you're wobbling afterwards, that's Hanamae. Yeah. Okay, Yame, good. Okay, guys, try this. From here. Just make Jukamai. Everybody make Jukamai. All I always do is drive forward Kizamazuki, then you can step back. Drive forward, step back. Okay, so you're going in, Kizamazuki, stepping back, so you're kind of staying in roughly the same area. Kizamazuki, step back, Kizamazuki, step back. Okay, everybody do that. Call it 5, 6 punches, give it a go. Super important is land in a good stance. Drive forward, land in a good stance, and then reset yourself, yeah? Okay, good. Okay, Yame. So everybody knows what they're doing. Guys, I want you to have that same impetus. So you're initiating really quickly. You're not kind of winding up. You're not kind of starting your movement slowly. You're initiating it quickly. And also importantly, kind of bringing your stance back together quickly. So what I'm seeing is a lot of people like, 1, and it's got this big long leg, and then you kind of relax forward afterwards. I want you to have that sense of driving, but then instantly pulling, so that back leg is primed again. So from here, you're driving forward, it's still primed, then you step back. Driving forward, it's still primed, then you step back. And so what you're trying to do is to develop that ability to fast twitch, relax, and fast twitch again. Fast switch to drive, relax, fast switch to bring your stance back into a composed position. Understand? Yes. Try that, guys. Give it a go. It's exactly the same feeling as the start of Bassai Dai. Then, Susan, don't feel the need to step back quickly. Driving in, stop, settle yourself, then reset. Yep. This idea of driving forward, reset, and then coming back. Relax, pinging in, reset, then driving back. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Remember, it's about your stance, guys. So this is working with your legs. working with your core, yeah? Not so much about punching, it's not really about punching. Then Vasrik, it's sometimes nice to kind of pull your hand back to Hikite, but you don't want to make it habitual. If you're stepping and constantly moving forward with a Hikite hand, you're really vulnerable. So sometimes that's quite good to kind of show that you've scored a point in a competition, but actually it's always have that ability to come back to Kamae straight away, yeah. Always have that in your repertoire, never make it habitual. Okay, everybody understand? Yeah? Okay, like guys, let's try spin power. So, one count, Kizamizuki, then slowly back. So from that nice Kamae position, you're gonna drive in, then replicate this. So you're driving in, then instantly replicating it with that back leg squeeze. Okay, so there's kind of explosion, and then reset. Explosion, and then reset. Okay, let's try spin power, you ready? By count. Okay, you ready? Knee! Then go on my count, yeah? Relax. 10! Chin! Don't predict my count, listen to my count, it's the trigger, yeah? Go! Relax your shoulders, use your legs. Look! Chich! Hunch! Cue! One more. Jaw! Ayame. Relax. Good. So a few like Zheng Tan from Singapore, BU Singapore. You're not the only one, but I'm going to pick on you. Like quite a few of you, including Zheng, was kind of punching and then kind of rolling forward afterwards. You have to kind of part of training is kind of having that explosive power and then instantly trying to settle in a good stance rather than allowing the inertia of that movement to carry you forward. So just like in Bassai Dai, the last thing we want to do is kind of drive forward but then kind of roll afterwards. We don't want that. We want to have that ability to kind of completely drive forward but hold on to our stance. So the same with Kumite, we want to have that ability to drive forward but still hold on to our stance afterwards, ready to do something else, rather than habitually doing anything, but in this case habitually rolling forward afterwards. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Any questions? Everybody's good? Should we move on? Yes, everybody's good, I think. Okay, good. Guys, from the beginning, so Bassai Dai, you ready? Okay, so driving forward. Okay, yitch. Okay, then from here, round, Uchuke, and san, Uchuke. Satuke, sheep, and go, Uchuke. Okay, scoop, then drive, and block. Okay, yummy. Okay, so what I want to focus on next is just this sequence where we're kind of doing these sotukes, uchukes. We're really trying to use our hip rotation to create body movement. Not only body movement in terms of moving our torso from side to side, but also actually shifting our stance. So, one more time. From this point, then we go from this first movement. So we got our right leg forward, right hand attack. Okay, we're going to rotate one and block uchuke. Okay, don't move your hip first. Hand, then hip knee. Same hand, then your whole body round down. Okay, then hand first, then chi uchuke. And then hip and hand, same time, block. And last one, hand hip. Okay, yeah. So, although I'm kind of demonstrating it, I'm also kind of watching what you guys are doing. And straight away I can see this, for example, the sotuke. So we go uchuke. See a lot of people stepping on the preparation and then just blocking. Like we really want to try to avoid this as much as possible. We want to have this sense that our hip and therefore our arm is creating the body motion. We're not stepping and then blocking because then it's just a hand movement. We want total body movement. Leg drive, hip rotation, and then finally the hand coming into place. So this hand comes up in preparation and then everything finishes at the same time. We want this kind of level of synchronization. Understand?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so let's try this, guys. Let's try this. Everybody just from here, make Gakuzuki. Okay, so I want your back leg to go round. See what sort of space you've got. Back leg round and drive, Gakuzuki, ich. Okay, back leg round, drive, knee. So kind of slowly shifting your way across, yeah? San, Gakuzuki. Shi, Gakuzuki. Go, Gakuzuki. Go. Okay. Understand? Okay, everybody watch Carl and Rue. Carl, Rue. Okay. So face that way, Gakuzuki. Yeah. Okay. That way. Okay. Okay. So what's really important is that we don't step and then punch. But the initiation is the front leg. The front leg is going to initiate it, and the hip rotation is going to initiate it. Rather than stepping with your leg and then rotating, it's your leg that drives. Okay, try. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Okay, understand? I just want you to try this for a little bit. But what's super important is that it's not 1, 2. Karate should never be 1, 2. It should never be 1, 2. Karate is only 1, so it's 1. This leg, this hip, this hand, together. This leg, this hip, hand, boom, together. That can fit. Understand? Try, give it a go, guys. Really challenge yourself, even if you kind of over bake it a little bit and you stumble, that's good, because then you're kind of learning what the parameters of your ability are, yeah? So push the envelope a little bit as much as possible. Then Bassai, 180 degrees, not 90, 180. Yeah, challenge yourself, yeah, challenge yourself. Then throw yourself into it. Don't play safe. Guys, I want to see you stumble. I want to see you wobble. I want to see you kind of not play safe, and so you're kind of really pushing the envelope of what is possible within your stance and within your karate, yeah? That's when you start to improve. Okay, good. Okay, Yame, just watch again, guys, watch again. So this time, I want you to do from here, Gakuzuki to Gakuzuki. So you're going to punch Gakuzuki, and then you're going to rotate Gakuzuki, and then reset. But not stiffly, not 1, 2, that's too stiff. Almost feel like you're throwing yourself in. So you have that snap punch. Snap punch, the snap punch, release the punch, and then reset. Snap punch to punch, reset. So 1, 2, reset. Understand? So you're kind of throwing yourself into it, rebounding and coming back for the Gakuzuki. Give that a go, try. Then Barry, throw yourself into it, that second Gakuzuki. Throw yourself into it. Even if you stumble and fall over, that's a good thing. Guys, don't play it safe. Don't plant your foot and then punch afterwards. Foot and hand finishing the same time, not foot then hand. That's it, Olga, then, yeah, that's it, Olga, yeah, good. So, Olga, you're going to punch left hand, then right. Left, right, or right, left. Yeah, good. Then, no. Olga, watch. Green belt, Olga. You're punching with your right hand, then rotating, punching with your left. Starting again. Punching with your left, rotate round, punch with your right. Start again. Yeah? Good, guys, good. 30 more seconds, and then we'll move on. Then the American Institute of Martial Arts, the long-haired chap at the front who's brushing his hair. Yeah, you. No, not them, you. In the black t-shirt. Yeah, the ones that you're pointing at. Keep your head up. Don't look down. Okay, if you look down, then what you're doing is you're putting all your center of gravity off. The moment that you look down, you break your center line. When you start to rotate, you're going to go off balance. Above all else, keep that center line straight. Okay? Okay, guys, good. Perfection has been reached. Okay, so, one more time from here. Everybody from here. So think about your center line. Think about how we're using our hips to drive in. So we're not kind of stepping. We are rotating and driving forward. Preparation, drive forward. Preparation, drive forward. This one, of course, we pull. Preparation, pull back. Then there's pull and drive again, yeah? Okay, let's try one more time, yoi? Okay, yeah, chichuke. Okay, knee. san, chi, go, scoop, rock, chich. Okay, yummy. Good. Everyone understand? Any questions? Everybody's okay? Yeah. Okay, good. So, what I want you to understand is that it doesn't really matter what kata we're doing. Bassai Dai, Heian Shodan, Unsu, doesn't really matter. What does matter is that you understand the principles that are behind that kata. We can add application, of course, and we can teach through application, and we can teach for competition performance, etc. But fundamentally, it is trying to teach you a body intelligence, a physical intelligence. And all these kata has layer upon layer upon layer of lessons that you have to learn, yeah? So in this sequence, we can talk about a few things, but one of the main things is about using your core and using your stance to shift your body forward as you produce the technique. And so synchronizing your body connection, synchronizing the drive of the leg, the use of the hips, the use of the torso, and the weapon, in this case the hands, in synchronization. This is the lesson I was trying to teach you, which is applicable to anything you do within martial arts. Understand? Excellent, good. Okay, let's move on. Let's go from the beginning and then move on, yeah? Okay, yoi, so from the beginning. Okay, driving forward, ich. Okay, ni, san, shi, go. Rock, shi, catch, ko, jo, tate, stop. Okay, ich, ni, san, shi. Okay, good. Okay, let's just practice that. So, generally speaking, bog standard kind of Bassai Dai is one hand, yeah? You punch and then one hand block. It's not really a mistake to use two hands. You know, like Kanku Dai is two hands. But generally speaking, Bassai Dai is one hand. If you want to use two hands for now, fine. But what I really want you to do is make sure that you bring your hand back to your hip. Don't let it morph up to your shoulder. So you're going to punch Chakuzuki, bring it back to your hip, then block Uchuke. Punch Chakuzuki, bring it back to your hip, block Uchuke. Okay, as simple as that sounds, just make sure you're doing that, please. A couple of minutes. Give it a go. Okay, good. Okay, yummy. So I'm seeing an awful lot of people do this. Let me show you from a good angle. I'll show you from this angle, yeah? So I'm seeing an awful lot of people who are punching, and as you're bringing your hand back, your body rotates, and then you're just blocking. And so what we're trying to do constantly is coordinate our body mass movement with our hand. So for example, if I was going to punch Carl, ultimately, if there's no function, the form doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So if I was going to punch Carl, then I can punch him with my hand. Like that's punching with my hand. But really what I want to do is punch him with my body mass. Like I want to synchronize my movements of my body mass inwards with the movement of my hand. So I'm shifting my body mass in. Now if I don't shift my body mass in and I do the same thing, like it's going to get the weight of my arm. Maybe it'll kind of cause a little bit of power, but not much. Basic kind of physical, basic physics, basic kind of kinetic energy is your body mass or your mass times speed, right? So I get my body mass, which is 80 kilos or whatever you call that in pounds, and I shift it at speed. Now, if I don't put a weapon to it and I just shift it at speed, it still kind of produces power, move back, right? But it's a much duller way. It's duller because I didn't have a kind of sharp weapon at the end. So I'm trying to get that body mass and put it into a much sharper weapon and kind of hit in this way, right? Then I start to choose vulnerable points. Choose, punching somewhere that will have some greater effect. All you're doing is case by case trying to get your mass times speed in a smaller and smaller surface area, which increases the actual overall power that you can create, right? So my point is that if you are not kind of cognitive of that as you're punching, as you're blocking, as you're doing karate, if you're kind of just hand only, hand only, hand only, hand only, then all it is form. And form is just dancing about in your pajamas. It has to have function. you understand? Yeah, so. Yes, okay, yeah, go for it.
What about the position of the feet when you use the punch?
Yeah, good question. Okay, I'll answer that now. Just 1 minute. So, I'll answer that in a minute, but, so from here, make sure, I'll show you from this angle. You're a little bit Tactile, a little bit of pull, so your hip is going to go in as you make Chokuzuki. Don't move your body, get your hand back in preparation, and then shift your body as you block. Then you've got all of that rotation, counter rotation, to come back to the Chokuzuki. Don't shift your body as you prepare, then your whole body rotates. And then to answer all this questions, so you can see my feet from there, right? So, case by case, some people teach, there's lots of different ways that people teach. The way I do it is I pivot on the ball of my heel. I pivot on the ball of my heel as I rotate down. And then I rotate on the ball of my heel to come back to Shizentai. And then I do the opposite ball and heel to rotate down. Well, we don't come back, but like, so you have this kind of shifting and elongation of your stance. Some people do a little bit of a step. What I don't like is when people kind of stay where they are, the bum still kind of sticks out. This is a little bit kind of cumbersome. But either heel and ball, or just step, your choice. Understand? Okay, 1 minute guys, give that a go. Then Garen from Garen Chilo, yeah, okay, you got me. Garen, then just be careful. Speed is ego, right? Timing is what really good karate is. So take your time, because what you're doing is you're doing it quite fast. You know, you obviously know the kata, you're doing it fast. But what you got to be super careful of is that you don't do it so fast that your body's stopped before your hand is stopped. You want to really synchronizing that rotation of your hip with the opening of your chest, so everything goes at the same time. If it's slightly off, then it's not going to be effective. Always look for that connection, yeah? Always look for the connection. Okay, yame, good. Okay, guys, one last point I want to talk about this. And this is the sense of like residual energy. So if something called the Golgi tendon reflex. The Golgi tendon reflex is, basically we call it knee-jerk reaction, right? So they're not a knee-jerk reaction, but like knee-jerk, you know, you go to the doctors, you put your knee over and they go donk and you donk, and it moves your knee, right? They get the little hammer. They're actually knee-jerk reaction. It's actually called the Golgi tendon reflex. And what it is, it's a subconscious element of your body that stops you from hyperextending your joint. So for sure, if you throw your arm out, it'll stop. But actually, you're overriding this. Naturally, it wants to kind of come back. And if you throw a stronger limb, like your leg out, naturally it'll snap back. For sure, we can add to that with the hikiash. We can make that stronger, but for sure, it will snap back. This is the Golgi tendon reflex. We want to use that in our karate all the time. It creates a whip in our karate. So, try not to stop stiffly, pull back, and then block. Have this sense that you're throwing your technique out and it nicely comes back to this point. You can make hikite, but you can also make preparation. You can make that hand come wherever it wants to. You don't always have to be stiff. In fact, I'd argue you should never be stiff in your karate. So, just try. From here, this one snap, two whip. Snap, whip. Rather than stiff, stiff, stiff. Understand? Okay, 1 more minute, guys. Give that a go. Then Barry Keane, you're punching and starting to rotate your hips. And so by the time you prepare, you've got nothing left of your hip rotation for that block. Okay? Make sure you're kind of distributing that hip rotation between the two techniques. Take your time though, Barry, take your time, yeah? It's a little bit fast and you're not synchronized so much. Yes, go for it.
So are you suggesting that when there's a follow-up technique, you should snap back? Or should you always never stop?
So the certain katas which you never stop, like for example, Niju Shiho, from the moment you start to the moment that you finish, it's flowing, flowing, flowing. You never stop. There's other katas. That's an extreme example. Other examples like a basic Kihon kata, where it's very stop, start, stop, start because it's kind of formulaic. However, I would argue that within every kata, there are elements of this flow. And you should look for that flow constantly. Because there's one thing that really differentiates between someone who knows what they're doing, and it's that ability to kind of just glide through their kata to move smoothly. I mean, in essence, like a lot of good karate is described as, it's really smooth. The reason why it's smooth is simply because they don't stop, start, stop, start. So if there's an opportunity to kind of flow from one technique to the other, you should take it. However, there are certain elements of kata which is definitely stop. And so you stop. But definitely case by case. But look for the smoothness, look for the flow. Okay? Okay, guys, let's move on. So, okay, from beginning, guys, from beginning. Okay, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ro, shi, hach, ko, jo, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ro, shi, hach, ko, jo, ta, ni. Okay, so I don't want to talk so much about the shito. I want to talk about this first ki, this skamyuke. But let's just go through it one more time so everybody from here, this second uchuke. So we've got our right leg forward and we block with our left hand uchuke. And we're going to step forward with our right leg, open up, shito, ich. Okay, then forward, knee. And forward, san. And back, shi. And go. Okay, yame, good. Okay, so I think what I really want you to feel with this is your ability to connect with your whole like front-facing parts of the body. We'll talk about our back in a minute, but from here, this is a lot of people do kind of a hollow kind of feeling when they do this. So they're making the shape. From here, they're kind of making the shape of skamyuke, and then they're forward. What I want you to do from here, just try, is feel like you're connecting. We're very good as humans to bring thinking into ourselves. We do this all the time. Think about how you eat. Yum, 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 yum. This is how you eat, right? So you kind of bring things into you all the time. And then and you're quite strong. We're strongest at this. That's why we hold things like this. If I want to hold Rue, if I want to give Rue a cuddle, because contractually I have to give him a cuddle. Like, I'm going to hold him like this, right? I mean, like that's like, there's no possible way that I would hold him any other way. So, no piggybacks. Like, this is how we hold things, right? We're very strong with this. So I want you to feel like that when you're grabbing onto someone. Sorry. So like, no, punch. So if he's punching and I'm blocking, if he's punching and I'm blocking, I want to hold on to that. You know, if I'm taking that leg out, I want to hold on to that feeling. I want to have that sense that I've locked onto him. Whereas a lot of people do this hollow feeling, and there's no real connection. So I want you to imagine someone's punching, you block and you grab. You want like Bassai, which is the original kata. Bassai is this one, blocking, two, and there's a big gap between both hands. And then you take this leg out whilst pulling upwards. But what's really important is that you take the sting out and then you grab. You know tactile, tactile. With your hand, you know where the hand is, and then you know where the hand is and you can grab. Because you use this hand to kind of feel it, that hand to grab it. And once you're there, you're locked on. And you're locked on by locking in your lats and anchoring on your body mass to that limb. So I want you to have that feeling. Do you understand? Yeah? Okay, give that a go, guys. Just 30 seconds. Give it a go. But put that feeling, put that intent within the movements rather than just making a shape. Okay, good. That was your 30 seconds. Now watch this, guys. So like the basic form, yeah, like generally speaking, Bassai Dai, like different styles, different groups, emphasized slightly different ways. Generally speaking, Bassai Dai is not touching, Bassai Dai is not touching, Bassai Sho is touching, Kango Sho is grabbing, yeah? So generally speaking, Bassai Dai is not touching. But what you do is you're still making that kind of connection. What you don't want to do is then disconnect as you bring your knee up. If anything, you want to increase the connection. Feel greater compression of your abdomen. So you're squeezing your pecs, you're locking in your lats, and then you're squeezing your abdomen as you bring that knee up. And you create a greater amount of connection, a greater amount of pressure. And then from that pressure kind of produced moment, then you release before you make the shuto. So it's about kind of creating that maximum compression, and then you expand into the ki. Do you understand? Quite a lot of people are a little bit hollow shape. Yeah. There's nothing there, yeah? You want to put that feeling into it. Okay, try, give it a go, guys. Any questions, just ask. Natalia, don't come up, yeah? Don't come up when you bring that knee up. Don't allow your limb to lift your whole body. You want to have that sinking feeling of your body whilst your knee is coming up, so you have that kind of counter movement, yeah? Then Corinne, make sure you're turning your body before you bring your knee up. And so all that, you're going to get power from the expansion of your abdomen and the rotation of your hips. But before your leg goes out, you've already expanded your abdomen and rotated your hips on the preparation. And then you've only got a leg left. That's not very powerful, yeah? So you want to be able to use that expansion of your body, that rotation of your hip, in conjunction with the drive of the leg. So timing is everything, yeah? You've got all the elements, just not some good timing. Okay, good, yummy. Everyone understand? Have we reached perfection? 5 of you have reached perfection. I just can't tell you which, because then it'd be favoritism. But it wasn't Bjorn, because he was sitting down on the sofa whilst he was doing his warm-up. Okay, guys, we are going to continue. So this part was about kind of using our front to back, or kind of forward-facing muscles to our back-facing muscles. Yeah. This time the kind of like a little bit opposite, right? Okay, so from here, let's go from this point. Let's go from this point. Okay, so for the ki and then shuto. Okay, you're ya shito. Okay, ni. Okay, so don't feel the need from here. Don't feel the need to kind of like break or make some sort of flamboyant movement. Just feel the need to kind of use your back muscles. Your back muscles are going to open your chest, and from that open you close. Then open, close with it, yeah? So from this point, just try, it's the opposite of what we've just been doing. Before, it was like close to open. This time, open to close. Open to close. Try that, guys. Of course, your leg is driving you forward, shifting your body mass, but it's this upper body, open and close, that you're creating power with. How are we doing? Remember, that back leg is vital, yeah? Back leg is still driving your body mass forward, but it's your upper body that's creating that snap, that twitch with your technique. Okay, yeah, mate, just watch again, guys. Watch. So, okay. You want to feel like your chest is filling in that space. So I'm here, right? I'm here. I feel like my chest, rather than my hands superficially moving back, I want to feel like my chest is like if I pulled back, you know, if anybody's ever done any archery, you get your bow, put the arrow in and you pull it back, and you kind of literally kind of bend the bow, which kind of puts the string under greater pressure, and then it shoots the arrow forward. But as you do that, you also do the same thing with your chest. Your chest opens, and then boom, you release, yeah? This is the same thing without the bow. You're doing the same thing, you're opening your chest. You're opening the chest through your back muscles, your rhomboid muscles. And you're trying to produce this kind of like spring or snap to go forward. So you're opening your chest as you drive forward, which creates a greater amount of kind of pressure. And then once you reach that kind of critical mass, then you're using your body mass to drive in. And the same with this, it's not just a hand movement, it's a chest movement. Your chest is going in, your back leg is driving, and you're producing that kind of oizuki. Do you understand? You have to use your upper body with equal amounts of control that we do with our hips and also with our legs, yeah? This is really super important, okay? Try, guys, give it a go. Any questions, just ask. Yes? Yeah, so for me, I do both Zenkutsudachi. Then I know some people kind of do a half step. Like, you know, my basic rule of thumb, if there's two ways to do something, an easy way and a difficult way, I always choose the difficult way. So the difficult way is Zenkutsudachi, Zenkutsudachi. The easy way is Zenkutsudachi, half step Zenkutsudachi. So I do Yoriashi, yeah? So from this point, you know, from this point, I'll drive forward into Zenkutsudachi, drive forward into Zenkutsudachi, rather than this stepping, step. It's too easy. Less kind of snappy, less kind of explosive.
What's this?
Awesome. Okay, good. Everybody understand? Like, this is super important, yeah? Super important if you want to hit call. Anybody want to hit call? You put it away. Like when, you know, in best case scenario is that you have, you know, a young lad that you can hit like this anytime you want. You know, and like, you know, you kind of, okay, thank you for standing there, thank you for being still, and whack. Okay, thank you very much. That's super easy. But actually, like, that never happens, right? We have to kind of have that ability to not wind up externally, but to wind up internally. This kind of expansion of your chest, which leads to this kind of release. Like, and whether it be kind of like this easy seeing, or like easy kind of like a telegraphed kind of basic punch, or this kind of very simple kind of like, you know, defensive, don't attack me, like, and you're still kind of winding up and hitting from that point. Like, you've got to be able to kind of produce an explosive movement from basic bog standard kind of distance or very close range. And we do that by using our chest, using this bow-like action to produce this movement. Also hip rotation, also leg drive. But it comes from that connection that we learn when we do simple things like Bassai Dai, Understand? Again, you must have function. If you don't have function, form is meaningless. Okay, let's go from the beginning and we'll carry on. Okay, yoi. Okay, ichi, ni, san, shi, go, ro, shi, hachi, ko, jo, ichi, san, shi, go, rock, shich, hach, ko, jo, ha, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ro, shich, hach, ko, jo, ich, ni, san. Okay, so just that sequence, guys. Then two things I want to talk about this. Firstly is slow movement. Then from here we make manjigamai. Yeah? So we've made this shito coming round, nice reaction round shito. Then we're making manjigamai. Then undoubtedly this is a slow movement. But always please remember, every single slow movement starts fast. Every single slow movement is at least 50% fast. So if we think about, for example, the first time we generally speaking do a slow movement, with the exception of Heian Sandan, when we're actually stepping, Heian Yondan, the first movement of Heian Yondan, we are slowly moving into Kokun Stach as we make this movement, right? This is the first time we kind of step into a slow movement. Half of it is fast. What I don't want you to do, what I want you to think about, is how we're synchronizing this. So in Heian Yondan, I hope that you aren't stepping quickly and then moving your hands slowly. This is not a slow movement. A slow movement is a total body movement that's slow. Not a fast leg movement followed by a slow hand movement like Doyle's just done. So guys, you have to synchronize your body. What I want you to try is try doing the same timing or the same synchronization fast. So for example, if you went 1, 2, you'd know how strange that was. It's a bit like stepping forward, 1, 2. You know that's strange, right? It feels strange. So this is the same. If you're going to do this fast, like Heian Nidan, boom, you're going to do it fast. Okay? If you're going to do it slow, fast start, slow finish. Well, this is the same. If I was going to do this fast, then I'm going to put everything in, start and finish, same time. I want to have to replicate that synchronization, but slowly. So fast start, slow finish. That means my legs, the finishing of the stance, the finishing of my chest, the finishing of my hands are together. Rather than maybe what a lot of you are doing is stepping and then just moving your hands slowly. There's no depth there. You understand? Yes. Okay, try that for 1 minute. Right, Bjorn, close. Then Gary, even though you're practicing, don't practice nukite, yeah? Don't practice nukite. Stop. So even when you're just kind of prepping for the next move, always make that habitual. This is habitually shito, rather than just making a straight shape, yeah? Just best practice. Then Garen, exactly the same as what we did right at the beginning, yeah? So you've made this punch and you're going around shuto, throw yourself into it. Throw yourself into it. If you lose balance, great, but what you don't want to do is step, settle yourself, and then do the technique. Never ever play safe in karate. In the dojo, and guys, this is probably everybody worth listening to, in the dojo, make all the mistakes you can. Because you're much more likely to, if you make mistakes in the dojo, which is safe, a safe space, then you're less likely to make mistakes outside in reality, yeah? So make mistakes here. Don't stay safe in the dojo, especially when you're at home on your Zoom. Nobody apart from me can see you, right? So make mistakes. Okay, good. Okay, that was one point. The next point I really want to focus on is that we've just been talking about kind of like this connection with your inside your body when we're doing the first Ki, that connection with your outside your body when we're doing this kind of double tetsui on chokuzuki. Now we're going to use front and back, but this whip or twitch. So we're kind of going from here, we're going forward back or back forward. So we're using our front muscles, pecs, etc. in a twitch way and our rhomboids in a twitch way. So we're having this rapid movement. So from here, first one of course is front, back. So we're having this twitch, twitch, relax feeling. Rather than being kind of like just arm movement, it's about a body movement. So twitch feeling. Understand? Give that a go, guys. Try. then, guys, don't let the weight of your leg or don't let the circular motion of your leg pull your body around. Like this is great time to kind of create this twitch feeling, right? But if your leg is circular in nature, then it's very difficult to do that. So if you just watch from here, like I'm having this sense of covering jaw down, this like jaw down Sotsuke feeling, at the same time holding this kind of kamae to keep cover chu down, at the same time bringing my knee straight up. So I'm kind of bringing my elbow to elbow feeling and knee up to that one point. So I'm kind of creating complete cover. But I'm doing that in this kind of, from this open to close feeling and then opening again. So I'm open, close, open. I'm open, close, open feeling. But what people are doing is they're bringing this hand round, but the leg is coming round. And you're not getting close, you're closing your upper body, you're not closing your lower body. So close your inner thigh muscles, your adductor muscles, close your pec muscles, and then opposite as you block down into stance, yeah? Try that, guys. Twitch, twitch. Then, Vazrik, a little bit of timing, yeah? So you're hitting all those points nicely. You're hitting all those points nicely, but then your legs going, and then your hands afterwards. Try from that contracted point, contract, contract, open feeling. So everything is lower body, upper body, boom, working in coordination. Still that leg's going first, yeah? Can you feel it? Still you're releasing your leg. Oh, that was a little bit better, yeah? It's about timing, yeah? So you can take your time, do it slowly, get the timing right, and then you can increase speed and power afterwards. Okay, Yame, good. So I can see most people are practicing this Kihon Brai, but obviously this high shuke is the same, yeah? Where you're closing your lower body, closing your upper body, getting that point of contraction, and then releasing for high shuke. It's exactly the same feeling, yeah? It's about kind of coordinating your body and twitching. Okay, everybody understand? Yeah, any questions? Oh, I think everybody's good. Okay, good. Okay, let's move on, guys. We're kind of we're not running out of time, but I want to kind of make sure we have time to kind of move these ideas onto more kind of mainstream grading syllabus stuff. So we'll kind of push through to the end of Bassai Dai. The one thing I would say though before we move on, this twitch, what you're trying to do, like I've got a 12-year-old daughter. Oh no, I have a 13-year-old daughter. Sorry, but I remember like many years ago when she was very young, she learned how to snap her fingers, and it took her a while, right? It takes all kids a while to learn how to do that. And what this is about kind of laying down neurological pathways to be able to twitch the correct muscles in the correct order in order to produce that. Basic kind of like just kind of fast twitch muscle control. Now, that takes time. Well, it didn't take her that long. She's very gifted, my daughter, so it took her, 5 years to learn, right? That's all it took her, right? But the point is that like with the most controllable part of our body, it still takes time to learn how to do that when you're a kid. We try to do that with our entire body. Karate is about doing that with our entire body. That takes decades. It's about learning how to kind of engage your back leg, engage your core. It's about engaging your chest, engaging your hip, engaging your pec, engaging your lat, engaging your arm, engaging your wrist. It's about twitching your entire body and then putting them in order. So you have this kind of wave action going from your back leg, driving forward to produce that gakuzuki. Now, a lot of people just force their way through it. And what they do is they end up using protagonist and antagonist muscles at the same time. So we can all tense both our bicep and tricep at the same time and still move. And actually it feels quite strong. But what karate is about twitching one muscle whilst relaxing the other. So we have this movement. On one muscle whilst relaxing the other, so we have this movement. So it much have a whip feeling rather than this strong arm kind of movement. You understand? Always be Bruce Lee, never be Arnold Schwarzenegger. to use 2 American idols, pop culture idols, so that you can understand my references. Okay? Understand? Okay, good. Okay, guys, let's start from the beginning and we'll move on, yeah? Okay, yoi. Okay. Ni, san, shi, go, ro, shich, pash, ko, jo, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shich, hach, ko, jo, has, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shich, hach, ko, jo, ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shich, hach, ko, jo, ich, ni, san, shi, go. There you go. There we go. That's yours. Sorry, I realise that some of you don't know Bassai Dai and we kind of skipped through to the end there. There's only 2 more points I want to make. That kind of is important to the end. But then we'll go through it one more time. Okay, the first one. These are Yamazuki. So it's really important that we understand how we create power. There's several ways that we can create power. So let me use the analogy, other sporting analogies. When we think about a shot put is about impact phase synchronization. What I mean by that is that, like, when you hold something, there is a strong point within your muscle contraction. When your arm is straight, it's quite weak. When it's completely bent, it's quite weak. Okay, but in that middle phase, that's when your muscle is at the strongest. So whenever you hold something, your arm is kind of basically half bent. You don't hold something here, you don't hold something here, you hold it there, yeah, that's where it's stronger. And it's like a basic bell curve of strength. Weak at the beginning, weak at the end, strong in the middle. And it's that middle third, which we call impact phase. That's the phase of muscle contraction where we want to create impact. So we never want to punch someone here. I mean, like although we practice, like palm control and we hit like this kind of sundome, this kind of control. This is not really where we want to punch. If we ever want to punch someone, boom, it's going to be there in that middle third. Okay, so if I have a technique, it's fairly weak here. It's weak, it's weak. This is the middle third, starts to get stronger. From here to about here, to about there, it's fairly strong. But then past there, it dramatically decreases in strength as your speed decreases, yeah? So we want to have impact phase connection. The basic way of creating power is by synchronizing the impact phase of the drive of my leg, the impact phase of the rotation of my hip, and the impact phase of the extension of my arm together, and it kind of hits about here, that middle ground. Not here, and definitely not here, of course. But that middle ground, boom, impact phase, about there. Basic, bog standard karate. That's what everyone should be aiming for. Understand? Yes. However, there's always a next level. So the next level, like that's completely synchronized. The next level is slightly unsynchronizing. Is that a word? Dissynchronizing. Unsynchronizing. Don't know why I'm trusting them. Not synchronizing your movement. So if I have enough core strength, what I can do is I can send my lower body first and then have my upper body afterwards. Think about a baseball pitcher. A baseball pitcher extends the leg, rotates the hip, opens the chest, and then finally slingshots the arm. You see how I'm using American references here? You're privileged. I could have been talking about cricket or anything. Okay, so baseball pitcher. This first one is basic like shot put. Shot put. This one is like a baseball pitcher or a javelin thrower, that type of thing. This is dissynchronized. And what this produces is far more speed and therefore power. It takes longer. So you make a sacrifice. The sacrifice is it takes longer, but it creates a whole lot more power. So it's really nice if you have the ability to have short range, long range. Stun them, kill them. Understand? Okay. So, yes, go for it.
Am I interrupting? Sorry.
No, go for it. I think Carl needs the break. Don't worry about it.
In the first one, right, more of your body mass is synchronized so that your hips are moving while your hands are going forward.
Yeah.
But in the second one, your lower body mass is stopped. So
Yeah.
you achieve a higher speed with your hand, but less body mass
Correct.
is moving at the same time.
Yeah.
You're basically trading it off, yes?
You're trading it off, but remember, it's not mass times speed, it's mass times speed squared. So the trade-off that you reduce in mass, you gain through speed, it exponentially increases the power. Yeah. So yeah, it's always a trade, and mass robs speed, speed robs mass, and so it's always a trade-off. But like to give yourself, but I would think of these as 2 points within a spectrum of possibility. And whenever we do training, we want to maximize the spectrum of possibility. So you always practice one end of the spectrum, and practice the other end of the spectrum, and know that reality will fall somewhere in between. And like, you know, in a dynamic situation, where they're standing, what you're going to hit them with, blah, 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 will always give you an infinite amount of possibilities. So you always need an infinite amount of answers. So always practice the two points of the spectrum, or the two ends of the spectrum.
Would you argue certain body types are more suited to generating power one way?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So there's always that kind of like natural tendency. And I'd argue also that you should fight that as well, because there's no point practicing what you're good at. Practicing what you're bad at, and then you'll improve. If you practice what you're good at, you'll only refine something that you already could do well. So always practice things that you're less able for, and it will make your karate more comprehensive, more holistic. So again, always maximizing the range of the spectrum of possibility. Okay? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. So guys, in terms of Yamazuki, so like if I just kind of go through the kata, like we don't want to go 1, 2 and kind of synchronize that leg with that hand. You want to have that sense of, like for sure, if I was going to hit Carl and I really wanted to hit him hard, I would have that kind of over the shoulder, kind of Mike Tyson, another American reference, kind of over the arm haymaker type thing. Because what I'm doing is I'm stretching my body, I'm opening my chest, and then I'm using my obliques. I'm using my obliques to kind of crunch this forward as I rotate and bring this hand around. It's Yamazuki. That's all it is Yamazuki, right? So don't be have that sense of driving in, and then releasing that Yamazuki. Yeah, this sense of driving in, boom, letting that hand go in. Understand? Okay, give that a go, guys. Put that feeling into your Yamazuki. Then Vajrik, like you're bringing your leg up, boom, send that hip in as well. Send that hip in so you're arching your back almost, and then you follow through with it. I mean, that's a gross exaggeration, but you have that feeling, yeah? Yeah, and then feel like, that kind of overarm Mawashizuki feeling would be unstoppable, yeah? With all your body mass being whipped into it. Okay, Ale, good. So guys, that's an idea. Just work on it. Yeah, you can try to implement that into your kata if you know Bassai Dai. But also, what I would say is that, like, if you're not hitting something regularly, you'll never really get a true sense of what these things mean, yeah? Like, one of the greatest strengths of Shotokan Karate is the amount of basics that we do. But one of the weaknesses of Shotokan Karate is the amount of basics that we do. We cannot possibly learn connection and the different kind of muscle groups that we have to use in order to create that connection without actually making impact. And so if you ever get a chance, and I hope it's on a regular basis, you have a chance of actually punching something, whether it be Makiwara or Carl. I can send Carl over if you want, you can punch him. Or, punch back, wherever you want, but make sure you're punching something. Because what that does is it teaches you that all these things that we do has meaning and resonance. Resonance. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It has meaning. Okay, so make sure that you're kind of making those connections, those physical connections, as often as possible. Understand? Okay, good. Guys, one last point. A little bit about disconnect as well. Like, okay, everybody just try kind of this kind of rotate your hip, and then put your hands with it. Then don't try to put power, like Garen, you're putting power into your hands. Don't control your hands, relax your hands. Relax. Don't try to kind of do this kind of, I don't know, dad dance. This is called dad dancing, yeah? Don't. Relax. Okay. Then once you have this, then you can put power to it. Relax. Kime. Relax. Kime. We should have this. We should be able to go from complete relaxation to engagement. Complete relaxation to engagement. Yeah? Okay, good. Yeah, everybody's kind of got that. So this last part in Bassai Dai, where we're making these kind of 1, 2 feeling, this should be relaxed. Don't make it stiff. Not stiff. But from here, hands relaxed, relax. Then engage at the end. Relax, engage. Relax, engage, yeah? This kind of relaxation, and then engagement. That kind of thing, yeah? You should have that feeling in your karate. People are too stiff most of the time, yeah? So I can see the American Institute of Martial Arts. Guys, you're kind of not the black t-shirt, long-haired chap on the right, but the other two in the white dogi bottoms. Yeah, you two guys, your turn. So a little bit kind of like stiff, and you're making these two shapes rather than being relaxed. Flowing, flow. So you're stripping away effort, Understand? Okay, yeah, mate. Okay, so like one of the things, like sometimes I do yoga. Well, before COVID, I did yoga, and one of my yoga instructors once said to me, find the form that we're creating, find the form, and then strip away effort. And I thought that was such a great way of describing what karate is. In karate, we find the movement, we find the kind of technique what we're doing, the movement that we're doing, the verb that we're doing, not the shape, not the noun, but the verb that we're doing. We do that movement, and then we strip away effort. We try to do that movement with the least possible effort and therefore the most possible efficiency. And so if you're constantly putting effort where it's not really needed, then you're doing it wrong. You want to take away effort. I often say I do the laziest karate. I have to do lazy karate. Because if I did really kind of like karate that I did in my 20s, I'd be knackered all the time. I want to be efficient with my body. And I want to be lazy, therefore I'm preserving my energy. So I strip away effort and just do the same movements, the same verbs, the same techniques with the least possible effort. You understand? Good. Okay, guys, we're going to go one more time through Bassai Dai. If you've got any questions at the end, please feel free to ask them. We'll take a couple of minutes break and then we'll move on. Okay? Okay, last time, guys. Okay. Guys, you face here. You face the camera. Okay, you're in Bassai Dai. Alright?
Bassai Dai.
Forward. Okay, by count, you're in. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2、3、4、5。4、4、5、4、1、2、3、4。Oh, yeah, man. Ah, okay. Okay, good, guys. Any questions?
I'll ask a question, Scott.
Go for it. Go for it.
For the slow movement pieces where you said it starts fast,
Yeah.
is like slow movements are often compression, expansion.
Yeah.
It's the compressive phase that's fast, and the expansive phase that's slow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A little bit into the expansion.
Case by case. I mean, like if you think about like the movement in Bassai Dai, then this is probably the extreme example where probably 70-80% of this movement is fast. So like you've already compressed and you're just expanding. Well, I mean, there's no expansion in your body. There's only compression of one muscle group or another muscle group. Yeah. So to say that you're expanding is wrong. But I understand what you're saying. So there's only real expansion, should I say? And it's 70%, 80% fast. Look, I'm kind of almost finished and I've moved fast. And it's just the last 10-20% that I move slowly. So some movements are 70-80% fast and then trailing off. Whereas some movements are like 50%. So like Yondan is a classic example where the preparation is fast and then the execution is slow. So this is where the poetry of karate is, right? You find your way. You find what feels better for you.
Or if I may ask, where's the shusho?
Good.
It's half fast.
If I go in Goju Hosho, yeah. Goju Hosho, like really, I have that feeling of sinking down, hitting the contraction point of my hip and my left hip and my left shoulder, hitting that point and then releasing into this movement. Same with Sochin, yeah? Sochin is saying, hitting that point, then releasing into that slow movement. So yeah. Always contract fast, always prepare fast. Yeah. Anything else, guys? No? Okay, so I mean I just said then, you know, like it's the poetry, you have to find the poetry. Like kata is like physical poetry. Like if you think about a poem, you know, you read a poem one day and it's all about love and romance, because of the mood that you're in. And you read the same poem the next day, maybe, and you're in a different mood, and it's about loss and betrayal and something different. And any great poetry has great depth to it, that depending on your mood, depending on what you bring to that reading, gives you a whole sense of different intent. Karate is the same. Any sort of kata that's stood the time and kind of like stood with us all these years, these decades, these centuries, has great depth. And so one day Bassai Dai might mean one thing. It might mean another thing. Like I've highlighted a few technical points today. I could next time highlight a whole host of like functional points, or a whole host of connection points, a whole host of breathing points. It has great depth to it. And depending on what you're bringing to it on that day, it's a vehicle to practice those things. It's nothing more, nothing less, just a vehicle. Do you understand? You should always kind of treat your kata practice like this. And that's why when people say, oh, you must do it this way, what they're actually saying is that you must do it the way that they want you to do it, which is not your karate. You must find your own karate. Okay? Okay. Okay, guys, feet together, hands by side. Okay, ready?